Hey, 10-minute daily reality check Friday, June the 30th, birthday eve, man. You know, 'twas the day before my birthday and all through the house, not a psycho was I can come up, John, I can come up with a really, really funny thing. Not a psycho was crawling, you know.
Oh, that's good. I mean, what a relief, right? You're saying that at this point in your life, you've had enough drama, you've had enough dysfunctional relationships, you've had enough psycho episodes in your humble abode that you have evolved past that and would rather celebrate that alone with good friends than a toxic relationship.
You know, I would rather just celebrate my birthday every single day because I don't
Mm,
know about you. What I do before my birthday is
tell me.
basically spend that week before my birthday kind of feeling things out, what's going on in my life, how I feel, what makes me happy, what's making me sad at the moment, what I need to work on, what I'm in appreciation and gratitude of, what is still driving me crazy because I tend to look at the week before your birthday as kind of a cleansing week, a week where you're able to just say to yourself, all right, I need to get rid of some of the toxic energy that's in my life because we all have it. I need to embrace the love and the gratitude for the people that are in my life, my friends, relationships, whatever it might be. And then I need to set an intent,
Mm,
and I'm actually going to see, in a little bit, I'm going to go see Peter Evans, who's an amazing healer in Santa Monica he's the guy who told me last year to go find God and spirituality and everything else. So
oh wow.
I'm going to go for a birthday reading, and just kind of get that feeling so I can set an intent because I've got another trip around the sun, another trip around the earth. And I want to
Mm.
make this year, the next year of my life, the best year of my life, because that's always my goal. Every year is the best year of my life where I can have the most personal transformation. And you notice I'm saying transformation. I'm not saying make the most amount of money because I feel like when you personally transform and you become the most higher spiritual version of yourself, the money and relationship and love will flow in. So I think people tend to get it all wrong when they set goals. They're always setting goals like, I got to make $10,000 more a year. I got to go
Mm.
find a girlfriend. I got to find a boyfriend. You like the voices?
Yeah, this is great. You could have your own sort of Simpsons show or whatever, like a Family Guy type thing.
I know. I think we should. Anybody listening right now, if you want to sign John and I up for cartoons, we'd love to take this 10-minute daily reality check and turn it into a cartoon series because we think we would kick ass.
Well, I think that would be great, actually. If anyone just wants to start drawing them out, that would be fun. But
Oh,
let's get down to business. What are we talking about here today? I mean, let's get serious. What's happening?
well, considering the fact is I decided, this week, one of my intents was, still some toxic relationships in my life. I don't need to mention the names of the people who I have a toxic relationship with because there's no reason to call them out because it's a private thing between me and them, right?
Yes.
Right. So we don't need to call them out. We don't need to call them out at all. But there
You
are
don't want me to probe
no, no,
further, do
no, no,
you?
no. I don't want you to probe any further at all. But let's go into what we wanted to talk about today is toxic relationships. Hell yeah. And I think yesterday we had an amazing breakthrough. If you didn't listen to yesterday's podcast on the I Have It Covered mentality, you need to listen to it because John had a breakthrough that he's been looking
Yes.
for almost his entire life. He was trying to figure out why he gets into these toxic relationships. And we've had endless circular conversations because I'll listen to John day in and day out because that's what friends do. We support each other. And in the midst of a 1 minute reflection story about a dream that he had when he was 5, he was able to figure out, with my help right there listening, why he has toxic relationships. John, you were just in some, well, not you, but John Wolf, our good
Oh, Johnny, my buddy Johnny Wolf. Yeah, the poor son of a bitch. Yep. Yeah. Well, I mean, let's recap the aha moment for those guys who
friend.
didn't. It was an interesting. It's a dream I had when I was a child about my mom. My mom was a beautiful human being, and the yesterday's story is about transformation and the power of it and why some people get stuck, and how my mom gave me the gift transformation. I watched her become someone else. I watched her evolve into her best self. And but she did a lot of work on herself at a certain point in her life when she was ready to do that. And it was a lot of pain because she had a painful childhood and she had to let it go. And very painful childhood. We don't need to talk about that, but it's a very fascinating story. But she had to let it all go and evolve and become an awakened person. I watched her go live from an unconscious person to a conscious person. And but when I was a kid, there was my mom was, there was two moms. There was the mom who was the lighthearted, loving, playful person, and I picked up a lot of that from her, and easygoing, and laughed at, had a great sense of humor. And then there was the mom who was always mad at dad and fighting with dad and screaming curses and obscenities, and I mean, it's to a little kid's mind, it was really, I just kept wanting to bring the other mom back. I kept having to say, how do I get other mom back? And I used to do things like record my mom when she was going on her rants, where she'd be like, "You cocksucker, motherfucker," and I would record her while she was doing a tape recorder. And then when she was in a calmer moment, I'd play it back to her, and she'd start laughing. But anyway, when I was about 5 or so, I had this dream where I went behind the living room couch and into there was a light, where you plug in the lights, whatever you call that, a light socket. And all of a sudden, it opened up. It just slid open like a door, and I became really small. And I walked in, and then it closed. And then I walked, and I saw mom, good mom, tied up in a chair, tied up and gagged, and bad mom was there whipping her. And there was two moms, and then I was trying to free good mom. And it was such a dramatic dream, such a powerful dream. And that, I mean, I don't remember much from being 5, but I'll never forget that dream, and what we really figured out as I'm even talking about it is that I have a theme in my life of dating women. I'll just drop the Johnny Wolf stick. John Keegan has a theme in his life of dating women who have that two sides, and then sort of placating to their nastier side and trying to bring back and shine the light on their best self, and only seeing their best self even though it's at risk to his own personal well-being, and or to my own personal well-being, I guess we'll say. And so now we're seeing that. I mean, I've certainly evolved a lot in my life, but I find that if I get into a situation like that, and I'm not saying every girl I've dated's been that, because that's not true, but if I've been into a situation like that, I used to stay in it for years, and now I get out of it quicker. But I still find, because it's an old pattern, that it's easy for me I stay in it longer than I even should, because I really shouldn't stay in it for one day longer.
So what is it about it? It's like, now that you've experienced that, and that's a beautiful reveal again. And I still think people need to listen to the podcast yesterday, because how we got to the reveal was so powerful as well too. And it's something that a lot of John and I are professional coaches, so we can get you to that reveal. It's no different than therapy. So if you need a reveal, I certainly think that you need to either work with myself or John. So there's a little shameless plug for, working with me this year, because I will kick your ass and so will John. But John, what was it? You just went through another toxic relationship. Hell yeah. And 100% right. You and I, we didn't congratulate you for getting out faster than ever before.
Well, but see, here's the thing. But I have to confession, I'm still not out. So I have to figure out. I'm at a place with the relationship where, for whatever reason, we just had we weren't getting along. And I have to be honest, it wasn't me. She really just was showing a really nasty sides of herself that were like unconscious. She's not, not an unaware person, it turns out. So then, but then she left here, and then she's back where she's at. And then we just kept the relationship going by phone. And then in a weird way, it became attached again. And that's where it's at now, when it's clear that it will never work, that we could never have anything more than a friendship where I'm where I have to be less than I am in order to be in it. So that's where it's at now. So, there's exiting. How do you make a clean exit? How do you just get, be done with another human being? It's not like quitting a cigarette or something. Like, how do you just finally just say, as much as there's good things, and there is always nice things, that's the problem with it. There is a connection, there is something, but there's also some things that just aren't working. And how do you finally just say, hey, you know what, it's time to move on?
Well, just like that. I mean, it's just about being honest. You can't. Here's the thing. I mean, it goes back to the dream you had, saving your mother, right? And
Yeah.
if you look at the beauty of your mother, is that your mother decided to go on a higher enlightened spiritual path. So there's two sides of your childhood, you know. And the first side of the stop. The first side of the childhood was the one who was watching or thinking, I can fix, I can fix, I can fix. Because if you think about it, children are pure love. They're just beautiful, loving beings. And unfortunately, parents fuck them up, right? So they just think, I can fix this. I want mommy, I want daddy to feel better about himself. I want daddy or mommy to be better, right? So we take that pattern and we ingrain it into our genes and into our DNA and into our body, into our soul and core. And then you also saw, your mother heal. So that's what happens, okay, is that you, as you were older and a conscious being, you saw the power of transformation. Thus, you made a conscious choice when you decided to become a coach. That was a conscious choice because you saw the power of what transformation is all about. Unfortunately, you're still working on your unconscious programming right now, your generational programming that's going through your brain. So what's happening is that it's just a battle right now because it's a battle of the conscious versus the unconscious. But which is so great about that big reveal is that you realize where the unconscious thoughts are coming from now, and now the true healing can begin. So it is as simple as telling her, listen, I think you're wonderful. I love you. I think we've shared some great stuff, but we are not right for one another. And this relationship does not serve me at all. This relationship is not healthy for me, and it's not healthy for you. Two people should not be going at each other the way we go at each other. And I truly believe there'll be somebody way better for you in the future, and me, myself. Just being honest and radical and raw. It's all about having a reality check with her.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I guess there's this thing like, and this is an interesting thing to talk about. It's like it's hard to communicate. So it's like if I communicate, it's not going to be like this conversation you and I are having. It's going to be there's a lot. Whenever I try to have any kind of this kind of a conversation, it becomes a combative situation. It becomes super defensive, like insanely defensive. So it's hard to even go there. So it's like, well, then there'll be like a reversal of what's happening. All of a sudden, even though it's clear what's happened, all of a sudden it's reversed and placed on me like I'm the instigator, or I'm the one who was the sort of unconscious one. And then, however, I don't want to get too specific, but it just gets reversed, and then it makes me feel even worse. So then it's like shit, and then I get stuck in this kind of weird haze. So I'm thinking like, then it becomes almost a power struggle, which is the shittiest thing. But then it's like, is there really a conversation to be had? Is there a way to do it? Or is it just one of these simple, horrible things where you send some text message and just cut off the phone service?
No, no, no. You don't do text message. It doesn't matter what she says. That's the re-engager because she knows she knows exactly how to re-engage you. She knows how to do it because you guys are there to literally learn from one another. There are
Mm.
lessons that needed to be learned from each other. So she's going to do it because she has played it off. She knows every single time she locks the door to the bedroom and then plays a little game the next morning, she knows she's going to get you. Every single time she says, well, I'm just going to go back and I'm going to go move in with this other guy who's just going to like help me out. She knows it gets you because of the little boy who still thinks he can save. Now, she doesn't consciously know that that's what you're thinking about, but your subconscious programmings are both battling each other. It really is as simple as you becoming authentic because then you're going to become the most authentic, powerful version of yourself. And this will never happen again because you'll be able to see it right away and speak it right away. You're worried too much. You're like the little boy worried too much about hurting mom. But in reality, this is going to heal the little boy, and this is going to heal that little boy relationship with your mom. I mean, both our moms have passed. So, we still have healing to be doing around it. Your mom was wonderful for so many years at the end, and you had such a special, beautiful relationship with her. But there's still the little boy that's still playing out some of the unconscious, subconscious programming. So it really is as simple, John, as just looking at her and going, yeah, this is not working for me at all. And I can't do this anymore. I respect you and respect myself too much. And you just don't listen to what they have to say, because if you listen, then it's literally mommy pleading to the boy, hey, listen, little Johnny, I'm your mommy. I'm your mommy. I can make it all better. You know what I mean? That's how fucked up our subconscious fucking minds are.
Well, let me ask you this though. So, but there's this other part of me that's always trying to make it, maybe we can fix this. Maybe we can, maybe this can work. Let's see if she wants to come around. But then, then there's my intellect knows that, in order for that to happen, that's like 5 years of her going to therapy and then coming around. It can't just be, oh, I want this to work. I'm going to be somebody else, because that's not where she's just not, her and I are not in the same place.
No, you're trying to, we talked about this on another podcast. She's an emotional midget.
Yeah, I guess is that the truth of it? Yeah.
And you're still trying to fix. It's like once you recognize the problem, you can't fix anymore. You just recognize the problem. You got to let the problem sit. And you got to realize that you finally had this incredible breakthrough, this incredible aha moment. And there's no way you can fix somebody. And that's what I think a lot of people are trying to do. They'd rather remain in a toxic hell yeah relationship and then really realize that you just can't fix people. And you even said it, well, it could be 3 years of her going to therapy and all this other stuff. Great. You barely know her. You don't know if that's going to be the solution. You don't even know if she would even go to 3 years of therapy. And why would you go through the torture of this relationship when you guys don't even get along on that energetic level? You don't feel safe. And I think that's part of it too, is that when our moms are fucking a little nutty, we don't feel safe. So we go for these relationships with women that don't make us feel safe, because then we think I can make her love me. And look, and I had a relationship like that. I felt so unsafe when I really dialed into that energy with it. I felt so unsafe with her the whole time. But I just kept thinking, in my subconscious mind, I will make her love me. She will love me. She says she loves me, but her actions did not make me feel safe at all.
Yeah, well, that's and I'd say I feel the same exact way. I don't feel safe, and I don't even. It seems like there should be an easier way to get a hug. When you really boil it down, all I wanted was a hug. When I wanted it. Well, so it seems like there might be an easier way to do it.
There is an easier way, and it's really funny. It could be the way, because sitting outside the studio right now, I think one of the workers is smoking weed. California the Stone, man.
Oh man.
Woo! I am getting a contact high. Anyway, John, this was deep, man.
Man.
This is deep.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Tell people what they need, because this is like the last two podcasts are probably our deepest ones yet. So tell people what we do and why we do it every single day.
Well, what we both do is we help people become who they are. We help them have a better relationship with themselves. We help them have a great relationship with the world they're living in and the people that they know and that they want to know, and to create new love in their life. And in order to do that, we go to our own depths. We're not the PCBS people. We're not the I figured it all out people. We're the people who go there. We're the people who go there with you to help you become who you want to become. And this podcast was born out of that simple idea of, when we look around at all these great marketing experts who are the self-help people, we often see that they're fake, that they're one-dimensional, maybe two-dimensional, but they're never 3 or 4 or 5-dimensional. They don't have it. They don't show it. They just show their little perfection, and then they give their little advice in the world. We've decided to be raw and real, and in that sense, we are radical. And come on back tomorrow for more radical self-help that doesn't suck. And please share this, because I think, honestly, it would help a lot of people.
Amen, man. Come back tomorrow. And also all of you that follow me, I have a little surprise on my birthday, which is tomorrow. So go to my website and take advantage of it. I will see you all tomorrow with John.